President Trump's outlandish ideas, from mainstream to unworkable. The president's penchant for controversial statements and policy proposals has become a defining feature of his presidency. Some of his ideas, once considered outrageous, have become normalized, while others remain unfulfilled or fade into obscurity. Let's explore some of Donald Trump's most recent jaw-dropping statements and their current status. 50-year mortgages, a game-changer or a trap? Where it stands. President Trump continues to promote this idea. The story: Trump's social media post comparing his 50-year mortgage idea to FDR's 30-year mortgage plan sparked interest. Bill Pulte and the White House suggested it could ease housing affordability. However, economists and some GOP members criticized it for extending loan terms, reducing monthly payments, but delaying home equity buildup. Trump downplayed his suggestion, but the White House insists economic advisors are exploring it. Tariff revenue checks, a promise or a pipe dream? Where it stands, Trump is still discussing this. The story: Trump's online suggestion of $2,000 dividend checks from tariff revenue raised eyebrows. Experts and even Treasury Secretary Bessent dealt this, as consumers already bear high import costs. The administration's $225 billion tariff revenue falls short of covering $2,000 checks for all non-high-income earners. Despite this, the White House remains committed to making revenue checks a reality. Air traffic controller bonuses, a generous gesture or a budget puzzle? Where it stands, this proposal is in limbo. The story: Trump proposed $10,000 bonus checks for air traffic controllers who worked without pay during the shutdown. When asked about funding on the Ingraham angle, Trump admitted he didn't know but would find the money. This proposal's fate remains uncertain. Death penalty in D.C., a failed attempt at justice. Where it stands, this idea has faded. The story: Trump directed the enforcement of death penalty laws in D.C., but the city abolished capital punishment in 1981. A 1992 referendum confirmed this decision. Most crimes in D.C., even murder, aren't federal offenses. Limiting Trump's influence. Creating a U.S. sovereign wealth fund, a bold move or a budgetary stretch? Where it stands, a political solution was found. The story: Trump ordered a government-owned investment fund, but the U.S. lacks surplus funds due to budget deficits. Instead, the government has acquired stakes in companies like U.S. Steel, Intel, and rare earth firms for national security reasons, avoiding the need for a formal investment pool. Changing NFL kickoff rules, a passionate plea, or a futile effort? Where it stands, Trump continues to discuss this, but change seems unlikely. The story: Trump dislikes the dynamic kickoff rule, calling it demeaning and harmful to the game's pageantry. He suggested the NFL doesn't have the right to make such changes, but acknowledged they do as they please. Trump's efforts to change the rule may be in vain. Renaming the Commanders Stadium a tribute or a controversial demand? Where it stands, Trump is still advocating for this. The story: the White House praised the idea of naming the Commanders' new stadium after Trump, but the team hasn't endorsed it. Trump also wants the team to revert to the Redskins name, which was deemed offensive to Native Americans. His stance on the stadium name remains unclear. Suspending habeas corpus, a legal debate or a misstep? Where it stands, this idea has faded. The story: the White House considered suspending habeas corpus to expedite deportations, but Trump seemed unaware of this during an event. He deferred to Homeland Security Secretary Noem, who wasn't involved in such discussions. Retaking Bagram Airfield, a bold threat or an unlikely scenario? Where it stands, this proposal is in limbo. The story: Trump hinted at renewing hostilities with the Taliban to reclaim Bagram Airfield. He threatened bad things if the Taliban didn't return it. The Taliban rejected this, advocating for realism. The fate of this proposal is uncertain. Arrests for UN incidents, a demand for justice, or an overreaction? Where it stands, this idea has faded. The story: Trump demanded arrests for sinister incidents during his UN speech. including an escalator halt and teleprompter malfunction. Investigations revealed a videographer triggered the escalator stop, and the teleprompter issue was technical. No arrests were made, despite Trump's insistence. Trump's presidency has been marked by these and other bold statements, some of which have had a lasting impact on American politics. But here's where it gets controversial. Are these ideas innovative solutions or reckless distractions? Do they reflect a bold vision or a disregard for feasibility? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue the conversation.